Hi, welcome to From the Heart, a Latcham Saturday virtual edition card making project generously sponsored by the family of Catherine Ann Courtney and in partnership with the Whitchurch-Stouffville Public Library. With Valentine's Day coming up and recognizing that we are all missing our families and friends, we've put together this fun and easy project using materials that can be found in most homes. First step is to gather a variety of paper scraps from around your home. Bits of wrapping paper, foil, paper bags, newspaper, or any other paper product you can find. Have fun with it. You're looking for interesting colors, patterns, and textures. The goal is to bring these together to make a beautifully creative piece of paper to cut your hearts from. The next step is to prep the pieces by ripping them into strips. I like the varied edge this produces, but you may also want to experiment with cutting a clean edge as well. The idea is to play around with the materials and have fun. This will produce the best results. So you want to just go ahead and rip them. You will notice with most paper products there's kind of a grain, so if it doesn't rip fairly easy one way, turn it 90 degrees clockwise and try again. You may find that better. So here I've got some tin foil from the kitchen, produced a better rip on the side, and you can see I'm just gathering a variety of textures and colors. Some are small rips, little chunks. Now I'm going to turn it the other way and see if I get a better rip. Yeah, there you go. Go with the grain. Some of these are wide, some are narrow. You want a variety and you don't want to worry too much about how they look at this point. Okay, now I've got a stockpile of different strips of paper and I'm going to start the gluing process. I've just grabbed a scrap of a pizza box from my recycling. I've got some white glue, school glue, and I'm just going to evenly spread that. I'm going to use my newsprint actually as the base for this piece of paper. And I'm just going to thin out the glue, spread it on, stick down a piece randomly, not going to worry too much about where it is, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue over top to really seal the deal there so that I can layer another piece over it. I like a bit of the newsprint showing through. You don't want to get rid of it entirely, otherwise there's no point in using the interesting text behind it. So I'm going to lay that down and again go over it. This will dry clear and it actually kind of makes a nice slightly glossy finish to it, which I like. Just go over that bit, get all the ends down. But again, I'm not really, I'm just having fun with it. I'm just laying them randomly down. They don't all have to be vertical or horizontal. I am really just being random and creative, not too worried if it wrinkles, just getting that down, seeing what happens. The tissue paper's beautiful because of its transparency. You can see what it does over top of the wrapping paper, and then the newsprint, you see that through, so it's really lovely to get that variety, whereas the obviously the brown paper is going to be opaque and nothing's going to show through that. And then you get the foil, get that bit of metallic glitter in there. But you will notice, obviously, with the glue over top, it loses that a bit. So with the foil, I will like to go back over with my piece of cardboard, and I just scrape a little bit of the glue off that. I don't do that for anything else other than the foil, just so I can keep that a little cleaner. And you just continue this process. Okay, once you've got all your pieces down, you like the way that's looking, you're going to want to let it completely dry before you then take your hearts. I've provided a template for you, but you're, you may want to experiment with drawing your own hearts, freestyle. Use a cookie cutter, heart-shaped cookie cutter to trace that around, whatever you want. And then I just tend to go around so it's a little easier to work with. And I just cut the heart using the template over top. Just go around. I've provided a few different sizes of hearts, so I would recommend cutting out a few different of the sizes and play around with those, layering those. Really fun. Once you get to that point, you've got a stockpile of hearts to play around with. And you just want to take it around. Again, you want to make sure that your paper underneath is completely dried and all the pieces are firmly down and in place. There we go. Doesn't have to be perfect. And let's see. And voila! Really pretty. Another way you could do this would be to flip over that piece of paper that you've created. I've gone on a pink piece of paper here, so it's easy to see my white behind it. And you can just use that heart that you've cut out as a template to trace if you find that easier. And then you can just trace a bunch of the hearts onto the back and cut them all out at once from the back of your piece of paper. There you go. So now you've got your little stockpile of hearts from the papers you've created. The next step is to start to arrange them on the card. A simple way, just if you have a piece of printer paper, 8.5 by 11, you can fold it in half and do it that way to get a larger card, or you can fold that in half again if you want a slightly smaller card to work with, up to you. I like to have a little bit of a smaller card here, so I'm going to fold that again. There we go. Or if you have other types of plain cards at home, or different papers you want to create your card with, have fun with that. Go for it. So you're just going to play around with your hearts, figure out the configuration you like, and then you're gonna go ahead and glue those down. Glue stick works. I also like to work with the white glue, where I spread it nice and thin out on the back of my hearts, but that's up to you. Glue stick will work just fine as well. Again, using a piece of recycled pizza, frozen pizza box, and I just get a nice thin layer of glue on that, making sure I get all of the edges, and go right over them, get it all, and then I place that on my card. So obviously I'm using the larger heart shape here. I'm going to stick that down, make sure you get all of the edges. And I'm going to take my medium shaped heart, same thing, get a thin, even layer of glue on the back of that. But again, feel free to use a glue stick. It's a little cleaner, easier. But the one thing I do like about the white glue when making the papers especially is sort of it leaves a little bit of a sheen on top and it seals it nicely. And put that one down. The paper's a little thicker because you've layered other papers on top, so just want to hold it down for a second or two. And then I'm going to go for 3 on this one. Smaller ones are a little harder. Gets a bit messy at this point. Just spread that on there. And I'm just using a solid one, so you can use solid white paper. I had a piece of pink cardstock at home, but really up to you. Just have fun with it, and there you go. Okay, for the final step in this card making project, we have sort of embellishment or illustration. You can choose not to do this final step or go all out and do as much as you like. It's really up to you. It's your card. But again, just have fun with it. I really like the look of that thin black line with the other colors going on the card. So I tend to like to add that. But if you have sequins or anything else you want to glue on there, it's your card, your sentiment. So, you know, go ahead and add whatever you like to make it yours. I have no doubt we all know somebody that would absolutely love to get this in their mailbox or on their doorstep. I know I'm going to be making up a bunch and delivering those out on next weekend. So yeah, just have fun with it, and I would love to see what you guys have done in your projects. If you can take a photo and send them to me, Jen, at latchamartcenter.ca. I would really appreciate it and love to share that. Also, don't forget to check on our website. Other than the heart template, we have a link to the Whitchurch Stouffville Public Library site, where they have partnered with us and created a creative card writing tip sheet. So that's really fun and interesting to look at when you're writing these cards. Really want to thank you and look forward to doing another Latcham Saturday. Thanks.